cooking? What you gotta cooking? What you gotta cook it? 'Cause I'm hoping hard it be me hiding in your favorite recipe.
Hi, I'm Ferris. This is Cooking for Bachelors, and today we're going to do the wine show. Look who's back.
Yay!
Miss Anita Cookie is back with us because when I thought about booze, I thought about her.
I really, really like wine.
You do, yeah. After tequila. Okay. So before further ado, I really want to mention that Anita is a burlesque dancer.
Yes, I am.
And she can be seen many, many places across the country. So
Yeah.
how can they find you and get to your schedule?
Find me at casinofortunecookie.com. There's a full schedule right there.
Got that? casinofortunecookie.com.
A little complicated, but that's okay.
Okay, and you do take your clothes off.
I do!
Just
Did you want me now? You want to do that now?
Maybe a little later,
Okay.
after we have some
After
wine.
the wine.
Yeah,
Okay.
is that a good idea?
That's a
Okay.
great idea.
I am going to talk to you today about wine, all right? Now, I don't pretend to be an extreme aficionado. I'm not, okay? I do enjoy wine. I really like wine, and I don't make a lot of fuss about it. And I'm just going to share my philosophies with you, okay?
Okay.
So I feel like basically what you have to think about in wine, because there are so many wineries, like hundreds and thousands of wineries across the world.
It can
like,
get confusing.
it could get really confusing.
Definitely for me.
Yeah, everywhere, okay? And so if you look at labels, you know, you try to think, oh, what's that winery? Or, oh, they have a really good wine. And you try to follow it around and you find out that only one store in your neighborhood has it, or they can't get it. Or you drank it once in a restaurant and they even gave you a copy of the label and you still can't find it, all right? So let's stop getting all obsessed with that. Yes, if you are an extreme aficionado, you will not be watching this show in order to find this information, okay? You will be searching high and low for the best, the artists that treat the wine the best, okay? But for us, we're gonna go with our average price bottle and our average price wineries, and we have a big variety here to talk about. The most important thing you have to think of is region and grape.
Okay.
That's it, okay? Then we start with, I'm gonna just cover a few of them. The way I do it, and this is my own personal philosophy, is I think about the personality of a country in order to determine, and the history, in order to determine like what their wine's about, okay? So obviously, the mother of all mothers of wine, let's say France, okay? You know, they have the proprietary champagne, okay? And many other wines that are really proprietary. Some of those proprietary, I want to just interject here, is just the name, you know? For instance, champagne can only be from the Champagne region in France. In Spain, it's called cava. In Italy, prosecco, okay? Shiraz is Australian, and that's proprietary to Australia. In Europe or in America, it's called Syrah, okay? Tequila, even though we're not having tequila here, but just for an example, tequila is made in Jalisco, Mexico. Everywhere else, it's called mezcal, okay? And it's not regulated as much. So we think mezcal is not an inferior, but it's not, okay? So just like wines are, we think that certain regions might be superior. They are not, okay? You know? So with Europe, you think about French, Italian, Spanish, all have rich histories, a lot of different kinds of politics, a lot of culture. It's older. So you think about that personality for the wines, okay?
So it's like much more grown up.
It's grown up.
I'm understanding.
Oh, I needed Anita Cookie. She's getting it. Grown up wine. I love it. That's exactly it.
Awesome.
So, okay, so European wines are grown up wines. So you want a grown up wine, you might pull European wine. Now, I actually have 2 European wines here. I've got this great liquor store across the street that has a bin in the middle of it. That's their $10 bin.
Oh, $10.
Yeah, $10.
That's wonderful.
All the bottles are around $10.
That's great.
Yes, and both of these, one is a Nero d'Avola from Sicily, which is Italian wine, and this is a great grape. It's a medium-bodied, not semi-sweet, but you know, a little bit fruity. And this is a French bottle here. This is a Vin de Pays du Garde for like maybe 11, it's around $10, okay? So that's the grown-up wine.
Okay.
Then when you think of like Australia, that's new, rogue, what's
Edgy.
that? Edgy.
More Lower East Side.
Right. So you think about like earthy, edgy, roguey, you know, more bold, experimental. That's Australia. You'd probably include New Zealand and maybe even South Africa in there.
Kind of rebellious.
That's rebellious wine. I knew I should have.
I know my
shot.
wine.
Yeah, you know your wine. Okay. Then when you come to the United States, that's the new wine, okay? And again, there's wineries all over the country, but the most popular is probably California, Napa, and Sonoma Valley. Today we have wines from Long Island, New York.
No way, really?
Yes, and actually I was at a tasting for all Long Island wines, and I was very, very impressed. Wine has to be grown in a temperate climate, so it's not too hot, not too cold. You know, in Long Island, it's got a short season.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's because it gets really cold. Okay, so and it gets really hot
It's
sometimes.
true, that's true, yeah.
Okay, and humid. So that's the downside of it. So it's a smaller growing season, but there's so many like little boutique wineries, and it's so pleasant. You know, wineries is a great also vacation destination. So what do we call the United States wines? We got our rebellious. We have our grown up.
Rebellious. I don't know, that's hard.
I don't know, let's just call it the freedom wine.
I was about to say that, I didn't want to say it.
You really?
Freedom
The
wine.
freedom wine, okay? We are free to grow what we want. Then there's the grapes. Am I boring you yet?
Not
you know
me.
what? I think let's just taste a little something,
Okay.
and we'll kind of move from there.
All
I just
right.
have these wonderful wines from Rioja, Spain. Now here's the thing, most people think Rioja is a grape. It is not. It's actually the region in Spain where these wines come from.
So it doesn't matter what grape is grown. If it's grown in that area, they call it the Rioja.
It's a Rioja,
Okay.
right? And there are probably limited grapes too. The Tempranillo is really the black grape that's most known for Rioja.
Love Tempranillo.
Yes, but there are other grapes that they have developed that can also be blends. So I think we're going to start with some of these. We have a Crianza, okay? And Crianza means that it had to be oak barrel aged for 6 months. Then we have a Reserva, which I think we're going to start with.
Okay.
And that has to be aged for a year, I think oak barrel in 6 months. Now you want your wines to breathe. You should decant them, but I told you this is the cheap wine show, okay? Not the fancy wine show. So we're not going to decant them and let them and then sip and all that stuff. Okay?
How about no frills wine instead of cheap wine? No frills.
This is the basic wine show, okay? The basic wine lesson.
word.
Okay, so this is the Rioja.
Nice.
It has a deep fruitiness, a little bit of earthiness.
Oh yeah, you can really, really taste the barrel. It's really delicious.
You can.
Nice earthy flavor.
It is very nice.
It's really delicious.
Ooh.
And this is the Reserva, you said.
Reserva.
I like that.
Yes, you can. You hit that oakiness, and I think that Rioja is it's like each region, their proprietary like laws are that it has to be that oak barrel thing.
Right.
And not all wine is oak barrel aged.
Oh really?
Yeah, no, it's okay. So maybe we'll taste like a white now, just so we can clean our palate.
Okay.
Oh, there she comes. All right.
Okay.
Miss Anita
My palate
Cookie
is clean.
in the house. Okay. This wine is a rosé from Long Island, a Shiraz rosé. So it's using the Shiraz grape, and rosé is actually, a lot of people think that it's a sweeter wine than white for some reason because it's pink, but it's actually like more an in-between. This is screw top, which is way more convenient.
It is so convenient.
Yeah, especially like, you know, when you're on the roof and you and you
Or
want to
on
do
the
a little
road and you don't have
when you're driving and you forgot your corks.
Well, I guess you don't have to be driving.
No. I'm kidding.
Make sure. Okay, so this is a Shiraz.
This is a Shiraz
Which
rosé.
is, so they got like maybe the grapes from Australia or something?
Yes,
like that?
yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you know there are very familiar wines. We know know Cabernet Sauvignon, Pinot Noir, Merlot. These are like the most popular wines. Those are grapes. The grapes will travel. So we're having this Shiraz rosé, and a rosé is like an in-between a white and a red, which means it's using the meat and the skins. Did you know that?
I didn't know that actually.
Yes. Well, red wine is from the skins and white wine is from the meat.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
It has nothing
there's
to
a
do
more
with like green grapes and red grapes or
no,
anything
and
like that?
maybe there's a
That's
more
so
technical
amazing.
term than what I'm using, but I'm on the non-technical side. Okay, so it's very light, a fruity aroma.
It's really nice. That is really nice. Not too sweet at all.
It's not too sweet. I actually love this. I have to say. I have to say in advance, I tasted this before, actually at the wine tasting,
Really?
which is why I have these on here, because I felt that their rosé is really delicious.
It's very
So
nice.
it's a very dry, it's like it has a deep fruit to it.
It's very bright though from the lack of skin or whatever it is. It's definitely different than a red, but it doesn't have that real sweet white flavor.
No, it doesn't have that like bitter aftertaste that
Exactly.
sometimes white
Very
do. I
nice.
like this one very much, yes. Okay. We're gonna pass that on.
Okay, I promise. I'll be okay.
Yeah, no, go right ahead. Enjoy yourself. We only live once.
Kind of like running a marathon. I guess I should have trained for this.
Oh, I thought you already had.
Oh, my whole life.
Okay. So then you have the whites. You have Chardonnay, which is a little bit sweeter in general. You have a Pinot Grigio. We have a Pinot Grigio here, so you know what? We'll taste this one.
So what's the difference between like a Pinot Grigio and a Chardonnay?
You know, a lot of people use very familiar, smoky, woodsy, dry, fruity, you know,
Floral.
floral. But not everybody tastes the same on their tongue. I think that the Chardonnays are a little heavier, a little sweeter. I
Okay.
think the Pinot, let's see, we have a Pinot Grigio, which is,
I feel like they tend to be a little bit drier, but I again don't
this
have
is
really
a little
any
drier,
idea.
I think, than a Chardonnay. And
Okay.
we'll see this here.
It's a very nice color.
Yes, it's a very crisp color, right? Which is kind of light and airy. And let's see. Oh, this is a lot for a tasting, isn't it?
We'll finish them, don't worry.
Oh,
That's very nice.
I think this one almost tastes more like a Chardonnay. I think this one has a little bit heavy
Little
fruit.
sweet, but
Yeah, a
well,
little
actually, because
sweet.
it's like not sweet, but it's fruity. It's different
Yeah, it
than
has
being
that.
sweet.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
heavier, I think. Okay.
I like it though. It's very nice.
I have to say I prefer the rosé. I do prefer the rosé.
That was delicious. That rosé was fantastic.
We have one more set of glasses.
So we can try one more wine.
So we have one more wine. I think we don't have to choose the same things,
Okay.
but I definitely want to try this one.
Okay.
This is the
You go for it.
Rioja, and this is a Gran Reserva, which means it's got to be aged for 4 years, at least 1 full year in an oak barrel.
Oh wow.
This company, this is a 2001 bottle. Now, most of these bottles are around $15 to $17. I don't have a price on this one, but I would imagine it's a little more than that.
For a
And
year,
these bottles are also around that price. So when you're getting that price in a restaurant, it will probably be around $35. Now, we want to talk about that a little bit too.
that it costs more money.
It does cost more, but you don't have to buy the most expensive bottle on a wine list. And don't be embarrassed to order from the lower priced, okay? Don't ever. Go with what your flavor is. Do you want a wine that's an adult, a rebel, or represents freedom? You know, do you want a fruitier, deeper grade? You know, and just go with your flavors, combine what your instincts are, and what you want to pay, and just go for that. Whether you're bringing wine to someone's house for dinner, or you're ordering a bottle from a menu, or you're just buying something for yourself from the $10 bins, you know, because that is possible, and these are all good wines. Make it your taste, make it your choice, what you want to pay, and you'll learn. When you use those methods, you'll be able to make a selection for yourself anytime. So, cheers. Let's see how this is. Well, this is great aroma.
Wow. That's delicious.
This is so smooth and almost velvety.
It is. You can
know?
almost can't like talk about the flavors because they're all so subtle and kind of blend
Velvety,
right in.
pillowy. Yeah, a little
Nice.
deepness. Okay,
Very good.
I think we're gonna Cook from the heart, drink from the heart. With love from my kitchen to yours. L'chaim.